Hi, my name is Marina Pullin, and I'm the Managing Director of the Jungle digital platform for freelancers. And today I'm going to talk to business decision makers or explain to you the business value proposition of having a freelancer strategy as a part of your overall workforce development strategy for 2025 onwards. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about the growth in freelancing and why this is different to perhaps other things that you've considered before. Freelancing is growing at about 17.17% compound annual growth globally. Anywhere in the advanced economy, freelancing is taking off. There are some people who are forecasting the US market will see 50% of their workforce by 2030 will be engaged as some type of freelancer. It's crazy. Now, why is this happening? Now, the big catalyst has got to be said to be the amazing pandemic. COVID-19 did bring with it some benefits, and one of them was that we have now just become normalized to remote working, more outcome-based working, and having a bit of freedom to be able to be in charge of our life and our work and what have you. Sort of like opened up a bit of a Pandora's box. Now, that type of autonomous remote working with some freedom that went around it is pretty much the first stepping stone towards freelancing. So we've seen an exodus of people leaving traditional employment to enter the market and leave traditional full-time employment to have a go. And with unemployment rates, we're hovering at where they're at. They're doing great. They're talking like 80% of freelancers are now fully utilized and growing. This huge talented market over there are having a grand old time. And it's not going to slow down. So for you as a business, you need to have some way of tapping into it. And the way to tap into it is really these digital marketplaces that have popped up for probably the last 5-10 years or so, ourselves included, where big corporations and smaller businesses and even individuals can connect using a platform and a group of people who will do verification, check all that stuff. So it's not just sort of like some, sort of creepy autonomous, anonymous network. You know that there's something in between. So many of you be familiar with Airbnb, Uber, all these sort of different platforms that started. And we're no different. We're a part of that sector as well. In our sector in professional services, though, it's like anything. There's a span. We have the ones down one end who are low cost, low value, low risk. They do minimal verification, if any at all. And caveat emptor, friends, go in there, try to find someone, and that's great. Hopefully it works out for you. We have ones we're at the other end, which is lots of verification, interviews, barriers to entry to be a part of the community. So then our corporate clients can have confidence that the pool of people are pretty good. Right. Whatever the case means, we've got two really, really big levers happening. We've got people entering the market, we've got technology enabling it, and it's little wonder that the gig economy is now enjoying what we're calling the renaissance of the gig economy. The renaissance of the gig economy, I think, is just a recognition that the early entrants to the market were, rideshare, food delivery, those guys. Some of them, maybe didn't do as well as they could have by their workers, and they're still in court paying for it now. But now we've got this sort of splitting of the market, freelancers, small businesses, small, professional services group, who are bringing so much talent and enthusiasm and professionalism into the sector. It's now being called the Renaissance. How nice is that? This whole new sector, this Renaissance. I love it. I just love it, the birth of it. And it's probably how it was always meant to be. But early entrants, they often make mistakes. But we're grateful they at least started the mindset and the thinking around it. Now, that's all the freelancer side. So now hopefully as a business owner looking at going, hang on, is that where all these people are going? Yeah, that's where they're going. It's the freelancer community. It's huge, and it's probably an area you haven't even thought of before. The other part of it, though, that businesses, your competitors or people like you, have thought of, and that is the huge cost advantages of dealing with freelancers. So rather than having to build out this huge workforce with all the latest skills and all the latest knowledge and keeping them happy and that instead you're able to build an ecosystem around your organization that has all these really specialist skills, and you can call on it on demand. Makes it a much leaner engagement. And you're dealing with people who in some ways share the attributes of employees. They're loyal, they get to know And the average employee tenure now is 3.4 years, in Australia, and declining. It's crazy. People are just coming in and they're leaving really quickly. I myself, as a freelancer, I've worked with one client for 15 years. Like, I almost do the handovers, and it's in both our interests to keep a great relationship. But it's sort of funny, and I'm not the only one. You have lots of freelancers who go, yeah, I've worked with that client for like 10 years, what have you. I'm a part of the furniture. But there's a nice continuity, and we're a part of the brains trust that we take, really seriously. Which leads to these cost savings and this renaissance and the professionalism. But with this huge shift, this market is specializing. So when so by specializing, I don't, if you're in HR, you're a decision maker, there's all these new jobs that are popping up left, right, and center. And maybe you can't afford to have someone to be like the top of their field in, I don't know, some random skill set. This is where a freelancer solution could really come into its own. And there's enough demand in the sector now for freelancers to actually invest in their skills and become specialists. So things like AI, cybersecurity, some graphics, comms, intergenerational management, all these new things that are coming out, which rather than allowing your team to sort of become generalists or learn on, as they go, why not engage a freelancer and learn the skills of having someone who is in amongst it, and they're passionate and they're self-learning and they're continually improving themselves. Partner with them, and they will infuse not just enthusiasm into your organisation, but some really, really valuable skills as well. So there you have it. Most organisations have not yet started thinking about their freelancer strategy. They're sort of bundling up as a HR option or, contract or word of mouth, and they're happy to run with that risk. But I'm going to tell you, just like the sector itself, there are big innovative businesses who are now building full ecosystems around their organisation and partnering with people just like us to be able to help that process along in this new and incredibly exciting new business model. If you would like to learn more, or you'd like some advice or support in building a freelancer strategy, you know where we are, reach out to me, and one of us will help you along and get in amongst it. It's an awesome, awesome sector.